Venezuela rejects the United Nations plan to resolve its border dispute with Guyana. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, February 1st. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Guyana was pleased with it, but Venezuela is far from thrilled about the route the United Nations Secretary General has put forward to resolve their argument over a swath of land that makes up 40% of Guyana. Antonio Guterres this week said he will send the century-old border controversy to the International Court of Justice. But Venezuela Foreign Affairs Minister Jorge Arreza said Wednesday that his country will instead push for bilateral discussions with Guyana to reach a diplomatic settlement in keeping with the 1966 agreement signed in Geneva. In a statement, the Nicolas Maduro government said, and I quote, "The government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, faithful to its historical tradition and in accordance with the Bolivarian diplomacy of peace, reiterates its firm disposition to defend the territorial integrity of our homeland and maintain political negotiation based on the 1966 Geneva Accord as the only way to reach a peaceful solution, practical and satisfactory for both parties and in favor of our people." End of quote. The UN Secretary General said he decided to send the controversy to the ICJ because there was no significant progress made in high-level negotiations by his personal representative thus far. He also provided for a good offices process while the matter engages the ICJ. Guyana had welcomed the decision, saying the ICJ was the appropriate forum for a peaceful and definitive settlement of the controversy. In Trinidad and Tobago, President of the Public Services Association, Watson Duke, is threatening to disrupt the country's highly anticipated February 12th to 13th Carnival if the grievances of Piarco International Airport workers are not addressed. He has given authorities until next Friday, February 9th, to deal with the issues of job security and financial stability. Kamal Georges of CNC3 News has more.
With Carnival less than 2 weeks away, Duke is reminding the government that Swissport workers handle all cargo while immigration officers deal with visitors. Both sets of workers, he says, have concerns about job security and financial stability that he says need to be addressed before next week.
We are hoping to meet with the finance minister on or before next Friday, which is the 9th, the 8th of February, and we're expecting to meet with the management of Swissport, Mr. Eugene Singh, on or before Friday, the 8th of February. Failure to do so would result in workers taking a particular action that may find the carnival that we have long waited on being disrupted.
According to Duke, Swissport workers are dealing with unfair dismissals while immigration officers and inland revenue workers are worried about the implementation of the Revenue Authority. Duke says while the finance minister has been promising that no jobs would be lost when the TTRA comes on stream, he wants that assurance in writing.
We are challenging the Minister of Finance today. If your word is trustworthy, if we can rely upon your word, then make those things real. Let us sign, without prejudice, a memorandum of understanding between the ministry and the PSA to ascertain for these workers job security, meaning permanent jobs, and also ascertain pension. When they go across, whatever their salaries are, the pension must reflect that salary adjustment.
Political analyst in Jamaica believes security measures such as the state of emergency in St. James should be replicated across other crime-affected parishes in the country. The state of emergency, which was declared in St. James on January 18th, has been extended to May 2nd. Kevin O'Brien Chang says similar intervention is needed in Clarendon and sections of St. Catherine. Last year, more than 100 people were killed in Clarendon, which meant it had the second most number of murders behind St. James. St. Catherine North has recorded the highest number of murders of any division in Jamaica since the start of the year. Statistics show that in the first 27 days of 2018, 19 people were killed in that division.
My sense of state of emergency won't solve everything, but it gives you a chance to take out the irredeemables, the hardcore, the dog hearts who are wreaking havoc. If you take those out, then you can try to ameliorate the rest of the community. You deal with the ones who are redeemable. But there's certainly in Jamaica some, if they're tearing off people's faces and gouging out their eyes, these guys have no redemption. You have to get them behind bars. Take those out, then you try to deal with the social issues that we know we have. So it's not a one-sided approach. It has to be more than one-sided. And so I say the government's mantra should be tough on crime, tough on the causes of crime. But you got to get the dog hearts out first. Then you deal with the people left behind, as we see going on where the Zozos were declared.
Still in Jamaica, the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is defending itself against suggestions from Prime Minister Andrew Holness that it is not carrying out its operations in an equitable manner. INDECOM investigates alleged abuses by members of the security forces. On Wednesday, as he announced the extension of the state of emergency in St. James, Prime Minister Holness stressed the need for INDECOM to operate with balance. Leader of the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, also called for INDECOM to show more respect to members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who are investigating police shootings. But INDECOM is seeking Justice Minister Delroy Chuck's intervention, insisting that claims being made against it are untrue. Head of INDECOM, Terence Williams, has written to the minister seeking clarification in relation to the assertions. He also requested an opportunity for INDECOM to respond. We get more in this report from Vashan Brown of TVJ News.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips raising concerns in Parliament on Tuesday about the manner in which INDECOM does its work.
We will have to take some decisions to ensure that that very important institution operates with balance.
If I can be blunt, if INDECOM has a problem with the members of the security forces, I don't think they should disarm them in public, in full view of the citizens.
On Wednesday, the INDECOM boss, Terence Williams, said he was somewhat disappointed when he heard the comments. Disappointed because he thinks the comments were driven by misinformation.
For example, the claim that we disarm police officers in the public street, and this is causing them to lose morale. That is just a plain falsehood. And I think the opposition leader might have heard it years ago when it was said of a particular incident in Mountain View by the Police Federation chairman. But shortly after, at a parliamentary committee, it was shown that that was a falsehood.
Mr. Williams says the police are disarmed by their colleagues, usually at a police station, not in public. Guns taken are then handed over to INDECOM to be processed. As for the Prime Minister's call for balance in how INDECOM operates,
this must mean that he has heard some claims regarding INDECOM's work, which he thinks doesn't show this balance. But the trouble is, we have never been apprised as to what is troubling the Prime Minister in this regard. And if we knew of it, we would give him an answer, an explanation.
the INDECOM boss has since written to the Justice Minister seeking his intervention. In his letter to Delroy Chuck, Mr. Williams said, as a Commission of Parliament, INDECOM is obligated to make reports to Parliament on matters of concern. We do not know what claims advised the assertion that our work lacks balance and would like an opportunity to be so advised and to respond, as misinformation must not be permitted to direct policy.
As campaigning heats up in Grenada ahead of the March 13th general election, the opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, is challenging the ruling New National Party, the NNP, to sign a joint anti-bribery pledge. The pledge, if signed, would signal both parties' commitment to refrain from bribing the electorate for their votes. According to a statement issued by the NDC on Thursday, the pledge also calls on the police to open a hotline for allegations of voter bribery to be reported. It further calls on the NNP government to instruct the police to vigorously investigate such reports of bribery. The Nazim Burke-led NDC said it is prepared to sign the statement in a joint press conference with the Keith Mitchell-led NNP. The ruling party is yet to respond. Grenada's election legislation provides penalties for anyone found guilty of engaging in voter bribery before, during or after an election. Penalties include a maximum fine of 2,400 EC dollars, 2 years in prison, or both. A complaint must be made to law enforcement for a matter to be investigated. Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Antigua and Barbuda take steps to address Canada's concerns about its citizenship by investment program. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Ladies, grab your girlfriends, grab your guys, grab the whole family. Bring them out to the Concord Experience, where we say aloha to Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival. It's Lays, pineapples, coconuts, cocktails, and so much more Saturday, February 3rd and Sunday, February 4th from 12 noon. Be sure to visit the Hyundai Soundstage, the Arts Village, or enjoy our specialty events such as Feminars, the YWCA Charity Brunch, and the Stay Free Pad Parties. And we can't forget the fashion shows on the Neutrogena main stage. So get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all Ticket Pal box offices, Cook's Finest, and all Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $80. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, food, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival 2018. Aloha! Thanks to Hyundai, Easy Pave Hardware, M Money by Bit, IGM Stage Lighting, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, The Spa Lounge, NCF, Sun General Insurance, and Trident 10 TV.
Antigua and Barbuda's non-resident High Commissioner to Canada, Sir Ronald Sanders, is engaged in talks with officials in Ottawa to address concerns about the Twin Island nation's citizenship by investment program. That disclosure from Foreign Affairs Minister Charles Fernandez. The discussions come about 2 weeks after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his government would consider allowing visa-free travel to Antiguans again if the Citizenship by Investment program can meet his country's high immigration and border control standards. ABS TV's Jessica Russell reports.
Minister Fernandez offers assurance that Antigua and Barbuda's High Commissioner to Canada is working to tailor the CIP to ensure it continues to meet and exceed global benchmarks. He points specifically to the concerns of the Canadians.
Our ambassador to Canada, Sir Ron Saunders, who is presently in negotiations with the Canadian government, we are put a number of things in place to ensure, not just for Canada, but internationally, to ensure that our CIP is way above the standard that is now accepted within the region. We are working to be proactive. We're working to be ahead. We're working to be the model for the region, and not just the region. We want to be up to international standards.
The minister says the government is working to ensure they go above the call of duty concerning the CIP. He believes this will allow Antiguans to continue to enjoy visa-free travel to several territories while opening the chance for Canada to reinstate visa-free travel for Antiguans.
We feel that once we are up there to prove that we can, our due diligence is way above the norm that is expected through the Caribbean, we think that will set us apart, and that will have a great influence in terms of our securing what we have in terms of visa-free access and working to get back some of what we like, for example, Canada, which we have lost.
Antiguans and Barbudans were required to obtain visas to travel to Canada as of the 27th of June 2017.
The governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank says the financial outlook for the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States is generally positive, but he's advising that significant reforms are required to expedite the pace of economic growth. Timothy Antoine says job creation is also vital for the Eastern Caribbean. We get more in this HTS News report.
ECCB Governor Timothy Antoine has painted a positive outlook for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, but has tempered his position with calls for urgent reform and job creation. He says the optimism stems from last year's 3.7% growth in the global economy and ongoing rehabilitation works in hurricane-hit countries.
In terms of growth, our target is 5%. Last year we did around 2.3%, and we have to point out that prior to the hurricanes, we were projecting to do over 3%. The hurricanes were a major setback, and we project at this point preliminary results that we probably did about 2.3%. Next year, well, 2018, we anticipate that will start to pick up, and certainly by 2019 we should be well in excess of 3% in terms of growth. With respect to our debt to GDP ratio, our target is 60%, and our target is to get there by 2030. At the moment, our debt to GDP ratio for the currency union is 70.2.
The governor has sounded the resilience call on the heels of a 2017 hurricane season that dealt devastating blows to a few member states. He says given the vulnerability of the region to natural disasters, resilience is crucial.
Frankly spoken, we cannot rebuild after a hurricane, which takes 20 years or more of our hard-earned gains, have that wiped out in a few hours and have to start all over again. That's difficult, it is demoralizing, it can be very challenging, and therefore we have to build resilience in what we do.
The governor also spoke of the most pressing challenges facing St. Lucia. They include youth unemployment and crime.
Climate change. Well, I think we all agree that's real. We are on the front lines of climate change, as Prime Minister Skerrit, I believe it was, said last September. High vulnerability to economic shocks and natural disasters. High unemployment, especially among our youth. Crime. The quality of our human capital and our relatively low competitiveness. These are, in our view, sort of the 6-7 top challenges that are facing St. Lucia, and it'll be interesting to hear your views on that. I must say most people agree with us. Now, we didn't put them in any particular order of priority or like first to 7, but most people agree that these are the key issues, challenges.
United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to keep the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba open. The order, which was signed moments before the American leader presented his first State of the Union address on Tuesday, revokes a previous order issued by his predecessor Barack Obama that called for the facility to close. Although many prisoners were released from Guantanamo under President Obama, he was unable to make good on the pledge to close it altogether due to concerns over the fate of some prisoners deemed too risky to either be freed or moved to U.S. soil. No new prisoners have entered Guantanamo in more than a decade, but when Obama left office in 2017, there were still 41 inmates there. And ahead in Newsline Sport, the sacked bowling coach of the West Indies senior team gets a different assignment in regional cricket. The details after the break.
Grab your girlfriends, grab your guys, grab the whole family. Bring them out to the Concord Experience, where we say aloha to Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival. It's Lays, pineapples, coconuts, cocktails, and so much more Saturday, February 3rd and Sunday, February 4th from 12 noon. Be sure to visit the Hyundai Soundstage, the Arts Village, or enjoy our specialty events such as seminars, the YWCA Charity Brunch, and the Stay Free Pad Parties. And we can't forget the fashion shows on the Neutrogena main stage. So get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all Ticket Pal box offices, Cook's Finest, and all Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $80. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, food, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival 2018. Aloha! Thanks to Hyundai, Easy Pave Hardware, M Money by Bit, IGM Stage Lighting, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, The Spa Lounge, NCF, Sun General Insurance, and Trident 10 TV.
Barbados, population 272,000. Number of funeral homes 36. Dominica, population 67,000. Number of funeral homes 3. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 109,000 residents and 2 dead handlers. The cost of coffins in the region, however, are similar.
Got it? Yes, sir. That's a nice one. That is a nice one. Yeah, Daddy, that is a nice one. Look at this pig. Oh, Daddy likey. Look at this. Oh. Snap the line. Oh, dang it. What just happened there? Woo! You need me to knock that one off your line for you? Yeah, get those scissors. All right, mister. You need any help with that? I got it.
Roddy Estwick has been appointed to the West Indies A coaching staff for the upcoming series against England Lions. Cricket West Indies confirmed the appointment just days after it was reported that the Barbadian had been sacked as bowling coach of the West Indies senior team for the upcoming ICC World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Director of Cricket Jimmy Adams says Estwick will join the Windies A coaching team for the 6-week tour against the England Lions. He said the Barbadian will be invaluable to the A team as they compete against the strong England Lions side over the next few weeks in Jamaica and Antigua. Estwick has in the past worked extensively with the West Indies on the 19s. Lion arrived in Jamaica on Wednesday to begin their tour that comprises 3 4-day tests and 3 one-dayers and runs from February 11 to March 11. The opening test is set for the Trelawney Multipurpose Complex on Jamaica's scenic North Coast. Over to action in the regional Super 50. Barbados Pride defeated the visiting Hampshire Cricket Club by 7 wickets in the 5th game of the tournament at the 3Ws Oval on Thursday. Batting first, Hampshire posted 227 for 7 in their allotted 50 overs with middle order batsmen Sean Irvin and Joe Weatherly, as well as Lewis McManus making significant contributions with the bat. Irvin's contribution of 63 from 68 deliveries and Weatherly's 65 from 44 had taken the visiting side to a respectable total. It was fast bowler Miguel Cummins who tore into Hampshire, taking 3 for 27, while Barbadian Craig Brathwaite, Suleiman Ben, Ashley Nurse and Roston Chase picked up 1 wicket each. But a 168-run partnership between Chase and Jonathan Carter took Pride over the line comfortably. Carter top scored with an unbeaten knock of 92 from 113 deliveries, while Chase finished not out on 85. West Indies speedster Fidel Edwards Edwards, Bradley Wheel and Christopher Wood picked up 1 wicket each. Rakeem Cornwall slapped an imperious unbeaten 100 as Leeward Islands Hurricanes demolished United States by 162 runs in their opening match of the Regional Super 50 tournament on Wednesday in Antigua. In the day-night contest at College Cricket Ground, Hurricanes raced to 298 for 8 of their 50 overs, with Cornwall marching to 132 off 92 balls to mark a career-best second regional one-day 100. Cornwall took charge of the innings, blasting 8 fours and 9 sixes and providing the impetus behind a robust 114-run 7th wicket partnership with Jeremiah Louis, who scored 30. The right-hander raced to his half-century off a mere 36 balls with 3 fours and 6 sixes before raising 3 figures off 76 deliveries. United States were never in the hunt and collapsed to 136 in the 39th over as left-arm spinner Akil Hussain claimed 5 for 26, while Cornwall returned with his off-spin to pick up 3 for 27 and complete a fine all-round performance. Opener Jaskaran stroked a top score of 43, while former West Indies Test batsman Xavier Marshall struck 40, but none of the other top 8 reached double figures. Meanwhile, spin twins Versamy Pamal and Devendra Bishu wreaked English County Kent to propel Guyana Jaguars to a comfortable 35-run victory in their opening Group B match of the Regional Super 50. Veteran former West Indies star Shiv Chandapal stroked 67 at the top of the order and got support from wicketkeeper Anthony Bramble, who made 39 as Jaguars were bowled out for 233 off 49 overs. In reply, Kent started positively with the 19-year-old Zach Crawley top scoring with 60, while Sean Dickinson got 29 and Daniel Bell 28. But the remainder of the baton failed to come to terms with the Jaguars' attack. The right-hander faced 73 balls and counted 4 fours, adding 58 with Bell for the first wicket and another 61 with Sean Dixon. But Premal snatched 4 for 46 and leg spinner Bishu 3 for 34 to cut down the baton lineup and send Kent crashing to 198 all out in the 47th over. And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You got to be there, you got to be there. You got to be there at the relay fair. Plenty speed, plenty action, stand, spot, steam it to come from the track. The Barbados Relay Fair, Saturday, February 10th at the National Stadium from 10 a.m. Admission $20 with family packages available. Teams from Guyana, St. Vincent, Grenada, Bermuda, Trinidad, and Guadeloupe competing against the best local talents. Your sponsors are Ensure, Colgate, Oliver Ranch, CMC, Williams Industries, Seidel, Sports and Gang, Burger King, Elite Sports, Caribbean Sports Management Enterprises, Regional Management Services, and Nuts and Bolts Nutrition. Remember to follow us at Barbados Relay Fair on Instagram.
Again, the major developments of this day: Venezuela rejects the UN's plan to resolve the border dispute with Guyana, but taking it to the International Court of Justice. And in sports, sacked bowling coach of the West Indies senior team, Roddy Eswick, among the West Indies A coaching staff for the upcoming series against England. That's Caribbean Newsline. Do have yourselves a good night.